Hi everyone, my name's Tam. I have got the pleasure of speaking with Christian from Arena Theatre. He is the artistic director, and he is with me live on the Create Business Facebook page. Hey Christian.
Hi, Tam. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. Now, you are an Australian leading youth theatre company based here in Bendigo.
Yes, well, not me personally, but yes, Arena is.
That's right. But you're playing a pretty important role in running that theatre company. And how are things going for you guys at the moment?
Yeah, it's a really interesting time. And like interesting, is one of those words that sometimes can mean a lot of different things. But I mean, on the one hand, it's really the theatre's being closed is awful, and not just for our own work, but for the work that we don't see coming to town. And of course, we can't bring our artists together. Creating theatre is such a visceral thing, literally, bodies all over each other all the time. And I particularly love really strong physical work. So, we can't really do that. And that's really frustrating. And I'm really desperately looking forward to getting back, into the studio and into the theaters and all of that. So, that side of it is and it's concerning now that we're in this particular moment, because I thought that it was, even though all the experts were saying it would come and go and all of that, I think, and I did hear them. I don't think I really heard them though. I think once we started to get a bit on top of it, I thought that it would just be sort of a pretty straight line. Maybe by next month we'd already be back in the theatre. There'd be shows on, things like that. Maybe not straight away full pelt, but I thought it would be a pretty linear. I was hoping it would be a pretty linear return, and it hasn't been. And that's really worrying. It's really worrying for everyone that I speak to all the time in the performing arts about just what the future is. That's the bad side.
Yeah.
The good side is, we go, as we go at 1,000,000 miles an hour all the time. We're just doing new projects. We're touring. We're doing workshops, residencies. We've just got a million things happening all the time. And to have a little break, it's not a break. We're working twice as hard for all the contingencies and all the cancellations and all of that. But to have some sort of a time that is different has allowed us to really reflect on what we're doing, and think about our work in a different way. And that's actually that's the positive way to look at it.
Yeah, I think a lot of artists and companies and businesses are in the exact same space where they are having that pause, or some of my clients, they are just taking the next step forward and just jumping in to see how they can keep transforming. So I can see we've got a few people with us on Facebook. Hi everyone. If you have got a question you'd like to ask Christian, please pop it in our chat. It'll come up for us. But I know that not just because of COVID, but you have been incorporating gaming or tech into your productions as a way to not only creatively make new content, but also interact and reach your audience.
Yeah, that's right.
Tell me about how you sort of started moving into that space.
Sure. We've always, I say always, no, actually, Arena's quite well known for it before I was at Arena. That we are really experimental with the form of performance, and we really love playing with new technologies, and really, so that's been an ongoing feature of the company's work. And the reason why is quite it's twofold, but it's quite simple. It's that we know that young people are really excited by new technologies. And so, when we want to give them opportunity to get excited about our work with us. And, when you're young, and particularly if you're a teenager, it can be, you just need something to get you over the line. Once you're in the room, great things happen. but sometimes, you can be a bit shy or nervous or self-conscious, and you just need that thing to let you get into the room and get excited. And so for us, technology plays a role in that way, because sometimes the young people feel like that they really know it and they're confident with it. Sometimes they're just really curious about it. But either way, it gives them an opportunity to step into the room with us and meet us there. And that's half the battle.
So when you're saying stepping into the room, you're actually talking to moving into the studio and creating works and building a relationship about an idea.
Yeah, I mean it in all ways. I sort of mean it metaphorically, but yeah, I mean that when we're doing residencies and things like that, and doing workshops with young people, because we work with professional artists in the service of young people, as our sort of primary kind of workspace. But we do a lot of work with young people in order to do the research to make them performances that they really love. So we do spend a lot of time with young people in the research and development of our shows, and also in making shows for their own communities, which doubles as research for us. So we might take augmented reality into a school, do a really big augmented reality project in a school that the school community gets into and has a great time with and loves. And then at the same time, we're researching, we're doing new things that we've never done before, and then we put those discoveries into more public-facing works that we then tour to art centres around the country and internationally when they have that kind of appeal. So that's the model. So yeah, when I say in the room, I do mean literally in the room, but also I mean sort of metaphorically in the room too, because sometimes we're not necessarily in the same room. Actually, sometimes we're not in rooms at all. Sometimes we're in a park or at some public space somewhere.
Mm-hmm. So with your experience of working with artists and tech, do you and potentially stealing some of those things that gamers might be using.
Mm-hmm.
What are you discovering about your audience, and are you seeing anything potential for the future?
Oh yeah, I mean the thing is, well, to kind of push back a little on the stealing thing, although I do quite like the provocation of it. We never thought that it was like it never occurred to me that we were stealing anything from gaming, and when we
I guess it's borrowing, or I use the word steal, like I think of steal like an artist.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean, but the thing is that we first came across augmented reality when we saw this incredible artist called Stu Campbell, who was working with Big Heart, and he was doing these. In fact, it was before he was with Big Heart. He was doing street art and using augmented reality to augment the street art with animation and all kinds of stuff. And we saw that and thought, wow, that looks really great. And in particular, when it comes to augmented reality, what you're seeing is the unspoken. You're seeing subtext. You're seeing the unspoken histories, the bits of culture that is behind the picture or associated with the picture, or the author or the illustrator. It allows you to see behind that veil or into the subtext. Which in performance, that's what we're doing all the time. Where if you think about a character, we're really unpacking the subtext of that character. That's what's revealed, through the performance. And so, what augmented reality does really beautifully, which is fantastic for performance makers, is that it's a way of getting beneath the surface and of layering information and content. And what we find with young people in working at it with them is that they love the idea of things being revealed to them. So, you can do that in a play and they love that. But also, the kind of the way that the technology, they're using it all the time. And so, it feels like it's in their language. So when they take a smart device and use it to trigger content that is otherwise invisible, except when you have the device, it really speaks to the way that they communicate with each other. And so they instantly find that's a language that they understand and relate to very quickly.
So really, it's taking this traditional form and just providing another pathway for those young people to play and participate in it. One thing that I'm really personally interested in the future, I think I might have sent a link to you, is Fortnite. And they have been, since lockdown at started, you've been hosting events and experiences that people can go into the game and be with other people and, be an audience member and potentially even interact with it as, virtual beings.
Yeah.
And, I can just see loads of potential in this. Is that something that you can explore with your characters or with your young people? Can you still bring young people together in virtual spaces?
Yeah, well, we're working on that really hard at the moment. And we've spent a lot of time, I think maybe 3 or 4 years, maybe it goes back 5 years or more, where we've had done a little experiments with virtual reality, and gone to universities and seen experts in it demonstrate things to us. But it's been the longest time where we've been thinking about how it can be theatrical, because we're really about the live moment, more than anything. And the funny thing about the thing that we see in VR, that I haven't done the Fortnite thing, but we've done lots of other games and things like that in VR as a way of trying to think about how it has a performative, an interesting performative outcome, is that we're actually about sort of stripping things back. So the thing about the virtual world is often that it creates the sense of a very full picture, that you're completely immersed in this reality. And, what I think is really important about theatre, and it's what augmented reality has as well, is that you're not given everything. You're actually, there's things that you have to fill a lot of the gaps in yourself as an audience member. And often that's...
Book.
Pardon?
God forgive, like reading a book and thinking your own thoughts.
Exactly. It's exactly. Well, that's where the fun is. That's where the creativity is. That's where your imagination really takes flight, is in those circumstances. And so in the virtual reality world, often, you're discouraged from really imagining your own world in there, because it's so real. And it's so around you, and it's so all-encompassing. And so, our challenge and what we're working on is a way of putting young people into virtual reality, giving them a really transformative, revealing experience, which we've found means stripping back some of the sense of the reality, in inverted commas. It's not reality, it's just... it's a trick, really. It's just like 360-degree dome of graphic. It's not, it's not real. But what it does is, I think it doesn't give you much space to imagine. So our big challenge, and what we've really been loving doing over the last few months, has been working out how to make that kind of space inside virtual reality, so our audience can go into it and that they can imagine and they can dream inside virtual reality in the same way that we know that they do when they're in the theatre with us, or that, as you say, they're reading a book, or something like that.
I love it so much. I could talk about this, like I said to you before, a lot, but we've only scheduled in a short time to be together.
Oh, yeah. How long have we scheduled in?
Well, I scheduled in 15 minutes. And 15
so it's done
now.
I'm
just going to hold you for another...
The whole time. I just sort of talked at you. Sorry about that.
You're a theatre practitioner. What can I say, Christian? But I wanted to say, what you're doing and the knowledge that you're gathering and the risk-taking that you're doing and the play that you're doing in this space, tech and young people and creating audience and creating meaning. What is it that needs to happen, do you think, in our region for this knowledge to grow and this practice to grow? Because I think it really is what's next.
Yeah, I think it's about commitment from all sides. I mean, we specifically make work for young people. I love working with young people because they don't know it all. that they have, you know, they think that they're really open to imagining what else it could be, what the world might be, and so, you know, they're really exciting audience to work for. They don't come with too many preconceived ideas. But what I think, you know, needs to happen is, I think we all need to get a little bit like that and really open up our imaginations. I mean, I think, you know, our hidden creature gallery, for example, you know, adults who just, you know, give themselves an opportunity to be a little bit sort of less cool, and take a photograph and make a creature with us that then can live at their desk or in their, you know, other places that they wouldn't necessarily think have creative outcomes for them. You know, if they would just open themselves up to that, I think they would be able to get on board as well. And I think it's just that thing of all of us just being a little bit less cool and being a little bit more open to you know, letting things into our spaces. And I think if we all do that a bit more, then I think it'll naturally grow, because it's really undeniable. And you know, what you get from it, the feelings that you have from it, the way that it allows you to think slightly differently, is so inspiring in and of itself, that I think, you know, as a community, we just need to give ourselves a bit of that space, and then and invite it in.
So more play.
I think more play, absolutely more play. We need it more than anything right now, no question. The whole COVID thing, like we need to play to work out what the new, you know, what our new rituals are, the way that we relate to each other, you know, all of that. We need to start getting a bit more social play in all of these things to find out how we can stay satisfied in our lives, I think.
I agree. I just love what you're doing, and thank you so much. And, you know, thank you for, you know, your team who are really like pushing it, not only in terms of artistic practice and getting to know your audience, but also pushing it to survive, and, you know, make it through this time. And I've got a feeling, because of the direction you were taking before COVID-19, that's going to be a really great backbone for you.
Oh, thanks, Tam. Yeah, you know, I'm super proud of everything that we're doing, and yeah, I feel it too, that we're a bit in front of this in terms of using some of these technologies, and really it's put us in a great spot to see, you know, all of the potential of it, rather than be sort of intimidated by the challenges.
Yeah, there's plenty there. But thank you so much, and keep up the awesome work.
Oh, thanks, Tam. Thank you so much. Thanks for the opportunity.